Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. Thank you for joining our call today. Lots of really amazing things that we are grateful for this morning. And I feel like as we were sharing our rounds of gratitude with those who are on live today, that there is a lot of gratitude for things that have happened, and that we have the ability to kind of take everything that we've got so far, our experiences, everything that's happened up to this point, and then just kind of like run it through a wash cycle and let things go and step into something new. Several people mentioned about, gratitude for like morning routines, restoring to alignment, being resilient, new beginnings, sunrise, quiet, peaceful, dark of the morning. There's just like several things that were talked about, like we're in a new place right now. And I know sometimes when we step out into a new place, or we make a choice, to level up, maybe before we even step into it, but just that choice of leveling up, stepping out of our comfort zones and choosing something new, that there's a little bit of unsteadiness that happens. And sometimes we run back to the old way and we're a little bit teetery because it's like, I've never been here before. I don't know, what it's like. But I'm feeling like everybody on the call this morning is just feeling a lot of gratitude for this new place that they've leveled up to. And so it's kind of like no more teetering. It's just feeling, like there's more, it's like feeling more gratitude and stability in the new place that they're at. So the way that I wrote that we could do our silent private meditation on is gratitude for centering myself at a new level. I know that's a little longer than we usually do, but that was the best way for me to write it. So that's what we're going to focus on. Gratitude for centering myself at a new level. And I'm going to set the timer for 90 seconds. We're going to do a private silent meditation and just write down whatever comes to you during that 90 seconds, and then we'll share. So our 90 seconds on gratitude for centering myself at a new level begins now. All right. I am so grateful when I can get to a place where I don't feel like I'm just having to like run to keep up with the inspiration that I'm receiving. And I can just look back and see all the abundance that God has given me, and that all things have been provided, like throughout the whole time where I was feeling like a little bit unstable because I was in this new place. I can look back and see that everything was always provided. God was there to be my stability when I was feeling unstable. And it was just my humanness that was making me feel unstable. This just came to me. I didn't have this written down, but I did a ropes course. I've done several times the same ropes course. And one of the activities is to climb up to the top of a telephone pole and to stand on the top. And this telephone pole is just, wide enough for your 2 feet to be right next to each other. You can't even have them apart. They're just like right next to each other when you stand up on top of this telephone pole, and then you leap off to hit a ring and then, be lowered down by your belay rope. And I remember standing on top of that telephone pole, and the telephone pole was just like shaking like crazy, and just moving back and forth as I was trying to gain my stability on top of that telephone pole. And as I leapt out, and hit the ring and came down, our person who was, with the belay rope that was kind of helping us through the ropes course asked us about the telephone pole, because I was talking about how bad it was shaking when I was up on the top of the telephone pole. And he said, was the telephone pole shaking? He said, look at the telephone pole right now. Is it shaking? And it just was like, it was me. I was the one that was causing it to shake. The telephone pole is stable. If I walk over and try to like push that telephone pole from the bottom, it's not going to go anywhere. It's stable in the ground. It's not going to fall over. It's not going to, but when we step out into something new, up to a new level, literally up to like 40 feet above the ground, a new level, I'm just like up there shaking. And if I had been one with the pole, I don't know, it wasn't possible for me at the time, but maybe there's somebody that could be one with the pole and it would just stand there straight. And I think eventually when we get a little more comfortable in this new space, that that maybe we could have that. And I hadn't planned on sharing that, but that's what I'm sharing, and I'm going to let you guys share. So who else has something?
I saw myself just being tossed on a sea, and then all of a sudden I come to this calm stillness. And even if the waves are still there, sort of like Peter, even if the waves are still there, then I feel calm and steady and solid in myself.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you. Robert. You will need to unmute. I'm not sure if you realize. While Robert's trying to get his phone unmuted, is there anyone else that has something they'd like to share? Deepti?
I'll say. So, before me, I was very emotionally weak before, and after my awakening, I have realized that I have so much of inner strength, which I never realized before. And now I can stand up. I could never stand up uh, for myself in front of people. I was very low on self-esteem, even though I was not wrong. And people really used my niceness. And I just feel that and now I'm so much better. I know where to take a stand. I know where to invest in, and who is just fooling around and a lot of other things. So I am just so grateful for the new place I am in, because if Like before, it always used to be like, why me? I'm just so nice to everyone, but why still me? But I just realized that I have to distinguish who's worth it and who's not worth it.
Mm,
And I just find I've just found so much of inner strength that I am uh, um uh, so I've just found a lot of inner strength inside me now, and I see I love myself, and I just know that I don't need anybody, and my faith has increased because I know the only one I need. I'm really not alone, and it's just God that's led me to where I am today. Yeah, I
beautiful.
just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. You mentioned the phrase "why me," and I think a lot of times, we get to that point if we're not feeling centered, if we're not feeling stable. I actually, as I was writing that down, I didn't mean to, but I wrote "why not me," and so I just wanted to share that with you. That phrase "why me," all we have to do is just put that one word in between. Why not me? And it totally changes. Thank you, DT. Robert.
Okay, I got it figured out. So it was a little difficult. A new beginning, I believe, is what you asked for or talked about.
Centering
when you
myself
said,
in a new level, at a new level.
yeah, okay. When you talked about the ropes course, that brought back a very important finding myself at a new level stage, and that was you're blindfolded when you go through a certain part of the ropes course. In other words, they take a rope and they run it through trees and zigzag it through between highs and lows, and for whatever reason they saw my energy and they put me first, and I just took off and this was in the snow, and it was cold, and but I took off with that blindfolded, and at the very end they said, when you get to the very end, they said, let go of the rope and fall backwards. Well, I lickety split I went through the loops and unders and whatever it was, and I knew people were following behind me, and I got to the rope and I dropped the rope, and my mind went completely blank as to fall backwards. And I stood there and I felt somebody else coming, and I reached down to find the rope to help them, so that they would have the rope still in their hand. And somebody whispered in my ear, they said, do you remember what to do? And I said, no. They said, let go of the rope and fall backwards. And I did. And there was somebody to catch me. And that was the new beginning. That was new. That how I ignored a very simple request to put my trust in others. And I hope that is fits. But that's
Beautiful.
what came to me when you said what you said.
Yeah, definitely. I think, situations like that, experiences like that are designed to help you interrupt patterns and have a new experience. The fact that you forgot the instruction to let go of the rope and fall backwards, your experience in the past that would never have even crossed your mind. There would never be a situation where you would have felt safe to let go of the rope and step and fall backwards. Your experience was that, you need to help other people because it's going to be hard. And I, can make it through, but I need to help others because it is hard. And for you to be able to have that new experience that, to fall backwards and learn trust, even a contrived experience, even an experience where logically we know there was going to be somebody that wouldn't have asked you to do that, unless there was somebody to catch you.
Yeah.
Even that is enough to interrupt a pattern and to allow you to step up to a new level of trust.
Yes, and I think that that's very indicative of this phone call, or putting your trust in mentors to help you to have that new trust that there'll be somebody there to help you in a whole new, in something completely foreign and unique.
Beautiful.
Different.
It takes a lot of courage to step up to a new level, to have enough trust that if you try something new, that it's going to be successful, and that's going to teach you something wonderful. Then, like
Thank you.
Deep Tea was talking about also. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Phil.
Thanks for listening to me. What's coming to me is that, what are we actually letting go of to get to the next level? And really all it is just a pattern. It's just a pattern, something that we've learned in the past to keep us safe when certain things, situations in our life present themselves, and we just automatically run that pattern. And so to change the pattern means that I'm not safe. It makes it feel like we're not safe. And so to let go of the rope, so to speak, and you want to level up, then that's the leveling up, is when you realize the pattern and then you consciously make a change in the pattern so that you can run a new pattern. And that doesn't mean that the old pattern isn't there still. It just means that there's more to the book. There's another chapter. There's more to the story that you can continue with, and make that pattern work for you instead of work against you, as you try to progress. And that's leveling up. That's when you level up.
Awesome. I love that. I just want to kind of reiterate what you said about being safe, that we create patterns in our lives, we're at a certain level, and wherever we feel, comfortable, we've created that because it makes us feel safe. And the time when we actually choose to level up is when we deem that level as no longer safe, that there's more, there's different, and it doesn't mean that, safe as far as like, where I'm going to die, but it could mean that we're a lot more conscious, something new has been introduced to us. And I can feel like right now in the space that I'm at, this gratitude for all the abundance that God has given me. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not unsafe to be where I'm at, but there is and now is right now is a time, excuse me, for me to just like be celebrating in my abundance and just feeling gratitude in my abundance. There's nothing that I really need to do right now. I'm in a beautiful place right now, and I'm feeling very centered in, this level that I'm at right now. There will come a time, and when we're on the lower level of choosing, higher levels, it's usually based on fear. It's usually based on, okay, this isn't good enough. I need to choose something different. And in my book, The 7 Gateways, I talk about that in the Gateway of Abundance, of what's enough. And we start getting a realization of what really is enough. We start noticing, I'm actually living a pretty mediocre life. I need to do something more. And so sometimes we're moving away from something to choose into a new level. Once you reach that level of prosperity, and you'll learn about this in the Gateway of Prosperity in that same book, The 7 Gateways. In the Gateway of Prosperity, it is time to just enjoy and love and feel gratitude and, just experience the abundance and the prosperity that you've been able to create in your life. But there will come a time when that is no longer enough, even though it feels good. It's a good place. There will come a time when if you are to continue to grow, that you must make a choice to do something different. And I'm going to say it always comes as an inspired thought of there's more people that you can influence. There's more people you can serve. There's more that you can experience in life. And if you choose, you can, choose this higher level. And there's going to be just as much like feeling of instability in the beginning. But I feel like when you're moving forward and choosing higher levels from that space, from a space of love versus fear, then you gain your ground. You feel comfortable in that space a lot quicker. So I encourage you all to continue leveling up until you get to that point. Let's see, have time for maybe one more share. Let's see, it was Deep Tea that wrote in the chat, if those roadblocks didn't come, I would never reach my personal power. I'm so grateful, which I gave it away so easily to other people earlier. I think that's significant in Deep Tea, is that when we're not leveling up, when we're trying to remain safe in our comfort zone, then it really is giving our power away. We're not choosing to embrace what we're capable of. Thank you.
Yes, I just understand that I am capable of so many more things if I just concentrate on my up leveling than what others need.
Yes, I love that. There's definitely, it's important. Our creations are really important because then that empowers other people. We don't necessarily need to focus on other people. We can focus on ourselves, and then the outcome is that other people level up because we're radiating that experience of leveling up.
Or we lose the bad ones, and we just
Yes.
come to the group of our level. And I'm here, that's why.
Yes, and you're here on the gratitude call because of that. Thank you.
Yes.
Beautiful. Laura.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how when we get to a point where we can actually be grateful for the roadblocks and the pain, and it's for me, I'm speaking from experience here. When we can get to that point, that is where freedom really lies.
Mm-hmm.
And I call it the Joseph moment. It's in the Bible when Joseph, with his coat of many colors, got sold into slavery, just in case anybody's unfamiliar with the story. And then, so he gets sold into slavery by his own brothers, right? And he had this dream. He had the dream that his brothers would bow down before him, which one must question his, the wisdom of telling your brothers that when they're already jealous of you. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But he gets sold into slavery, 27 years. It seemed the farthest thing from him. And he went through so much pain. That's the part that we don't see in the story, but like how much betrayal and pain and being imprisoned falsely and over and over and over again. But at one point, when they were actually in front of him, when the dream was realized, he was at the point where he could authentically, purely, and with an open spirit, his whole soul aligned with the truth. What you meant for my harm, God meant for my good. And in that statement, he was no longer the victim. Mm-hmm. In that statement, he was grateful for everything that had happened and for how it had brought him to this moment. And that was why he was able to have the moment, was he was at that place. And so that just occurred to me. It's a Joseph moment.
Beautiful. Yes, those roadblocks and those things that we overcome prepare us to be able to stand tall in our greatness. And also his brothers, in the beginning, that was one of the reasons why they sold him into slavery, was because he was It's like, how dare you think that you can rule over us, is what the brothers were thinking. But in that moment, because of what, because he was literally their savior in that moment, that they literally did bow down to him and saw him as their leader. And that never would have happened. It never would have occurred to them. They never would have been able to do that if he had continued just living as their younger brother.
Right.
So he
And
had to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that had to happen for not just for Joseph's preparation, but for the brothers' preparation as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very
Cool.
true.
Let's go ahead and just take a deep breath and allow yourself to just take all of this in that has been shared, all of the steps that are required to center yourself at a new level. First of all, recognizing that there is a new level and that it's time for you to reach up to a new level, and knowing that that there is purpose in you stepping up to a new level, and that it might be a little bit, there's going to be some roadblocks. There might be a little teetering, a little, time where you feel unstable within that. Letting go of some people, relationships, letting go of some beliefs, letting go of your own habits and things that existed in the old way, the old you. And then also some of the pain and feeling like we're in slavery, feeling like we're not free, but that actually every step is taking us to the place where not only are we being prepared, but those people that we get to serve are being prepared to receive us at that new level as well. And all of those steps that are required to be centered at that new level. And also knowing, as Deep Tea mentioned, that we're not alone, that as we on our daily walk with God, and every step that we take, all the inspired shortcuts that we receive, and the steps that we take according to being guided, that's taking us to the perfect place where we can be the most happy, the most fulfilled, even if it doesn't feel, we don't feel 100% confident in that area yet, that every step that we take, as long as it is inspired and walking with God, that eventually we will get to a place where we feel very centered and prosperous in that area, at that level. Go ahead and take one more deep breath. And just allow yourself to see that path from going from one level to the next. And whether that's a vertical path or horizontal path or whatever it looks like to you, just allow yourself to see that path and to place yourself, to allow your intuition to just place you on that path so that you can see whether you're just starting out, if you've just made the choice to step up to a new level, or if you're halfway there, or if you're already there, if you're just like one step away, you just have to step through the doorway and then you're there. Just allow intuition to show you, and maybe draw a picture of this path that you're on from one level to the next and where you are on that path. And visually create a representation, a drawing of where you are on that path from one level to the next. And wherever that is, just know that there is some learning that gets to take place, whether you're already arrived and you're just enjoying and celebrating, or if you're just starting out, or if you're somewhere in between, there's learning that is happening. There's never a time when you're not growing, when you're not learning. There's always divine wisdom that we can grasp. And so what is the divine wisdom? What is the information that God has for you as you're seeing yourself on this path in this particular spot? And can you express gratitude for wherever you're at based on, as this new knowledge is coming to you? Can you express gratitude for receiving that knowledge, receiving that wisdom, that learning, and for the place that you are on your path right now? And with this new knowledge, I also invite you to listen for two things. First of all, what is your inspired shortcut? What is the one most important thing that you could do today that will allow you to not remain where you're at on this path, but to move forward at least one step? What is the inspired shortcut to move forward one step, at least, maybe more, but at least one step on this path? And even if you have arrived in your place of prosperity, that there's one step that you can take that will help you to enjoy and embrace and love and feel gratitude for this place where you're at right now, even more. What's your inspired shortcut? And the other thing to listen for is limiting beliefs. What limiting beliefs are coming up for you as you're realizing where you are on your path? And with that limiting belief, there are always costs. Every belief, whether it's a limiting belief or an empowering belief, will take you to an outcome. And so if you're recognizing a limiting belief, what is the outcome that this limiting belief will create for you? If you embrace it, if you keep holding on to it, if you bring this new belief into your new level, or bring this old limiting belief into this new level, what will the outcome be? Will you be allowed to stay there? Does this limiting belief resonate? And is the vibration level of this limiting belief, will it be allowed to remain in this new level that you're going towards, or that you're living in right now? And if not, then you have the choice right now. You can give yourself permission to choose a new belief. So if you're ready to give yourself permission to choose a new belief that's more in alignment with the new level that you're heading to, say yes.
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 Awesome. So what are those new beliefs? Let's get 2 or 3 new beliefs that will replace that old limiting belief, something that is in alignment with this new level. So even if you hadn't actually arrived yet, if you're still like on your path, you're partway there, choose some new beliefs that are in alignment with the new level that you're going towards. And if you're already there, then choose some new beliefs that feel right and true about where you are right now. And that also will allow you to continue to grow. And as you get those new beliefs, I invite you to bring those new beliefs in and close your eyes and imagine yourself once again on that path. And as you bring those new beliefs into your body, what changes within you as you see yourself on your path from moving from one level to the next? What changes about you as you bring those new beliefs in? What are you noticing about yourself? What are you noticing about the path and yourself in relation to the path and in relation to this new level that you're reaching towards, and also the old level that you're leaving from? What changes are you noticing as these new beliefs are brought into the mix, into the situation? And then also envisioning yourself taking action on that inspired shortcut. And what happens as you take that inspired shortcut? You know you're going to do it as soon as this call's over. So just envision yourself doing it right now. And what changes with you on your path towards that new level as you take that inspired shortcut. And let this be the anchor. Let this be the confidence and everything that you need to actually take action and embrace those new beliefs as new truths for you going forward from this point forward. In a moment, I'm going to, and I invite you all, as you are on that path, to make your way back to the present here with us. And in a moment, I'm going to open it up for one or two shares. And I also want to invite anyone that is feeling like they need some extra support as you're moving to your next level to reach out to me, and just go to askwileen.com and you can schedule a 15-minute call with me. Askwileen.com. Deepti, you had something you wanted to share?
Yes. So for the first thing we have to do, if we have to up-level ourselves, is stop blaming, stop complaining, stop suffering, and stop self-pity. If we get past this first level, you are ready to change yourself. Once you get to that level, and during the meditation, I imagined myself like there's a perceived self each one of us have, which is like a perceived layers we all have built within us, like a layer of onions, like an onion. And I imagined peeling off one layer and reaching inside my heart and with connecting with the divine. So as I keep peeling off that layer in the onion, I start making my connection stronger to God. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
Beautiful. Love that. So your journey was more of an inner journey and peeling off the layers. I love that. Thank you.
So outward is peeling off and inward is reaching the God.
Beautiful. Love that visual. Thank you, Deepti. Let's get one more share. Brittany, do you mind sharing?
Oh man, you nailed it. I was like, it's just, I just feel like I'm so grateful for all of you. This call is so empowering, and there's such a connection and an energy here that it just feels like there's no room for anything else but growth and prosperity and abundance in all things. But what I'm visualizing really throughout this whole call is the more my inspired shortcut basically was that I feel like God's hand is not in just each hour of our days, but in every single second of every single minute. And the more that we allow ourselves to recognize that and embrace that, the more we feel of his love, and the more divinity we feel within ourselves, the more connection we feel with him, and the more growth is possible. And then also with that I simply see myself just expressing gratitude and then feeling more of that gratitude. And just what I'm envisioning is just the more surrounded I feel with his embrace, the closer I feel that he is just with his outstretched hands. They were outstretched at one point, and then they're just getting closer and closer to each other and wrapping right around me. So I am constantly with him, and there's no room for anything other than for me and for all of us to become exactly what we were designed to be and to become. And I am just so grateful for that truth. I'm just so grateful for that truth.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you. I was inspired to call on you, and I'm so grateful that I did. What a beautiful way to end our call. Thank you so much. I love every one of you. I know those who are on this call and have been with us for quite some time, you've seen the up level of the conversations that we have here on this call now. And I just want to thank you all for your commitment to growth, because I get texts and private messages on Facebook all the time of the gratitude that people feel from the growth that they have experienced from being on this call. And I know that if you remain with us, that you will continue to grow. God is in this call. And I just appreciate all of you being the type of people that we can hold this space for growth. And it feels there's nothing, like he said, but love and growth and positivity and gratitude. And it's just the perfect place to be. So thank you all. You all are creating this. I love you. We will be back together tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Thank you again for being here. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you
Bye-bye.
so much.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.